In the last video, we built the foundations of our town and stabilized the economy. The forestry, granary, and markets are running smoothly, and the people have settled into a steady rhythm of work and trade. Now, as we move into year 2, it's time to expand. More homes, more jobs, and stronger production. This is the turning point where the town shifts from simple survival to real growth. Every new building we add now helps secure the future of the settlement. The first priority this year is finishing the farm. By completing it early, we'll be able to plant and harvest before winter, giving us our first real crops in year 2 instead of waiting until next year. This farm will focus on potatoes and hemp, not for livestock, but for production. The potatoes will strengthen our local food supply, while the hemp will go to the weaver to produce thread and textile. That thread becomes the base for our shoe industry, one of the most important trades in the town. The textile and thread also allow us to make clothes locally, keeping our citizens supplied year-round. The only way to keep our people clothed and shod is to make everything ourselves. No trader sells shoes or regular clothes. They simply don't exist on the market. We can, however, buy warm clothes, which will help later in the colder seasons. If citizens can't stay properly clothed, they'll eventually leave the town, so maintaining a steady supply of shoes and textiles isn't just comfort, it's survival. Building these production chains early not only saves money, but ensures our citizens can rely on local goods made right here in town. It's January of 1722, and time is against us. The farm needs to be finished and the fields placed before spring arrives. Winter construction is always a challenge. The ground's frozen and workers move slower, but getting the farm ready now means we can plant as soon as March begins. With only 4 builders on the crew, progress is steady but slow. Every plank, every nail feels like a race against the thaw. But if we can finish before the snow melts, we'll have a working farm and a harvest before year's end, a major step towards stability. With the farm complete, we can finally bring in a manager. The manager oversees planting and allows us to set up field rotation, which keeps the soil healthy and ensures reliable harvest year after year. Without a manager, the farm can't manage crops efficiently. You'd have to plow each field manually every season, and that requires a cattle shed, which we don't have yet. With a manager in charge, the workers know what to plant and when to rotate, making the system nearly automatic. We'll start by placing our fields now, so they're ready for spring. Timing is everything. The sooner we set them, the sooner our first real harvest begins. Now that the farm is finished, it's time to set up the fields and get them ready for planting. We'll start by laying out the fields first, then assign a manager to oversee operations. Once we have a manager in place, we can enable crop rotation, allowing each field to alternate between 2 crops and a fallow season every year: potatoes, hemp, and fallow. The potatoes provide food for the town, while the hemp supports production at the weaver. Together, they form the backbone of our early economy. The rotation is simple but effective. Field 1, potatoes, hemp, fallow. Field 2, hemp, fallow, potatoes. Field 3, fallow, potatoes, hemp. This system keeps the soil healthy, balances food and production, and ensures a steady output each year without exhausting the land. Once all the fields are set for rotation, we'll activate them so the workers can begin preparing for spring planting. Now that the fields are in place, we can hire 2 farm workers to start preparing for the spring planting. With rotation set and the manager in charge, they'll handle the field work automatically as the season changes. Meanwhile, the builders are busy with new homes, expanding the town so we can attract more families through migration. Each new family brings fresh labor to keep production running and support the growing industries. Managing population growth is just as important as managing production. More citizens mean more workers, but it also means more food and goods are needed to keep everyone supplied. It's a careful balance that keeps the town stable as we grow. With the farm complete and the fields running, it's time to start planning the move away from the original camp. The starter tents have done their job, but the town has outgrown them, and we need a more efficient layout for the future. To prepare, we're planning a warehouse near the smithy. It'll serve as our new storage hub for iron and metal parts, keeping supplies close to production and cutting down on travel time. We'll also add cart parking nearby. These carts aren't just for industry. They're for everyone in town, helping move supplies between buildings and keeping goods flowing smoothly as the town expands. Once this area is ready, we'll begin clearing the old camp to make room for new housing. The goal is to bring families closer to the heart of town, replacing the temporary tents with permanent homes. For now, this is all about planning ahead, laying the groundwork for a smoother, more organized expansion in the years to come. While the builders work on the trading post, I begin clearing part of the old camp. The fire pit, leftover logs, and fishing nets are removed. We won't be using fishing in this settlement. The warehouse tent and cart parking remain for now, since the new ones aren't built yet. Once they're ready, we'll transfer supplies and clear the rest. For now, it's just early cleanup, freeing space for future housing while keeping the town running smoothly. With the trading post complete, I put out a request for a manager and moved 10,000 charcoal into storage to prepare for trade. Charcoal is one of the best early exports, easy to produce and always valuable. I've also enabled laborers to help at the post, so they'll start moving supplies while we wait. Even without a manager or assigned workers, laborers will keep the building stocked and ready. If no one applies for the manager position soon, I'll start looking through the citizens and reassign someone from another job. Once the manager is in place, the trading post will finally be ready to open for business with the outside world. With the trading post complete and the town running smoothly, we're ready for the next big step, trade. The first merchant is finally on the way. In the next part, we'll begin selling our charcoal, the town's first export. Through trade, we'll start importing the supplies we can't make ourselves: leather, iron, dried fish, and salt, all essentials for growth and production. This is where the town's economy truly begins to take shape. The foundation is built. Now it's time to connect it to the world beyond. Trading in Ostriv is simple once you understand how it works. On the trade window, items on the left are for import, and items on the right are for export. To make a deal, select the item you want to trade and enter the amount you'd like to buy or sell. If the request can't be fulfilled, adjust the number until it works. Then press Deal to confirm or cancel if you change your mind. If you're selling, make sure the goods are already stocked in the trading post before the wagon arrives. For repeat trades, like charcoal or textiles, keep it stocked so you're always ready when traders show up. I prefer to use temporary storage for exports like charcoal because it gives better control over when goods are moved. This helps avoid bad trades during winter when firewood supplies might be low, saving your town from shortages. For this trader, you'll be handling most of your early deals. He buys charcoal, shoes, sunflower oil, buckwheat, and clothes. Almost everything your town produces. In return, he sells iron and leather, both of which are essential for making shoes and keeping the smithy supplied. Other merchants will trade different goods. Some buy salt and lime, which you can export once production starts. Later on, we'll meet river merchants who sell non-perishable foods like peas, great for storage and keeping your citizens fed through the winter. With the new cart parking and warehouse complete, it's time to move the carts out of the old camp and transfer the iron to its new storage area. This setup keeps production materials close to the smithy and opens the space where the old camp once stood. Every move like this makes the town more efficient. Less walking, faster deliveries, and a cleaner center. Once that the area is cleared, we can finally start building more houses, bringing new families into town and continuing the steady growth of the settlement. While we wait for the old camp to be cleared, there's still plenty to do. We can hire a weaver to start producing textile and thread now that the hemp harvest is coming in. The crops are being gathered, and the supply lines are finally coming together. Once the weaver has made enough thread, we'll begin shoemaking, an important step for future trade and a steady source of profit for the town. Now that all the carts are moved, we could demolish the old parking fence and place new houses in its place. I'll show one being set, then fade ahead to the completed neighborhood, a big step in expanding the town and bringing in new families. Before expanding housing, we're focusing on production and trade, the real heart of the town's growth. With thread from the weaver and imported leather, the shoemaker turns each 25-cent piece of leather into 32-cent shoes, earning a 7-cent profit per pair. Combine that with charcoal production, which only costs labor to make, and we're already bringing in profits greater than the wages we pay. Winter has come, and the third year is upon us. The town stands strong, self-sufficient, debt-free, and ready to expand into its next phase of growth. To make more shoes beyond the current limit of 500, we'll need to build a warehouse next to the workshops. This will allow us to store up to 10,000 shoes, but that space also needs to hold other materials, thread, hemp, and other workshop supplies. For now, storage will stay balanced between production and materials, but as the town continues to grow, we'll eventually build an additional warehouse dedicated to finished goods. That, however, is still a project for the future. Once we start producing our own leather, the town will no longer need to import it for shoemaking. From that point on, the only limit to shoe production will be how much hemp we can grow on the farms. The weaver turns hemp into thread, the tannery produces leather, and the shoemaker finishes the goods for trade. A complete, self-sustaining system. There's still wages to pay, about 1 coin per month, but the profit far outweighs the cost. And if demand for shoes ever drops, we can always sell the leather directly, keeping income flowing and production steady. It's early in year 3, and spring is on the way. The perfect time to start expanding. The town is stable and strong. Food, firewood, and trade are all balanced, and the treasury continues to grow. Now it's time to build more houses to bring in new families and fill the open jobs across town. Each home added helps the settlement grow and keeps every workshop, cart, and farm running at full strength. It's early in year 3, and spring is coming, bringing new life to the town. With the economy stable and supplies balanced, it's the perfect time to expand housing. New homes mean new families, and more workers to keep every job filled. As construction continues, we also keep up with trade, maintaining the steady flow of goods that keeps the treasury growing. Even while the town expands, the economy never stops moving forward. Before we begin building, we've laid out the plan for the first bridge. It will connect the main town to the far side of the river, an area that's been inaccessible until now. Once the bridge is complete, this new section will become home to our iron industry, smelters, mines, and support buildings, all safely away from housing to reduce pollution. For now, the plan is in place. When materials and workers are available, construction will begin, opening the way to a new era of industrial growth. In 1723, we begin construction of the school, an important step in securing the town's future. Here, The next generation of managers and workers will be trained to take over as the older citizens retire or pass away from age or illness. Education may not bring immediate profit, but it ensures long-term stability. A town that can teach and train its own people can stand the test of time. Sometimes it's necessary to buy items we can already make in order to keep the town moving forward. Here, we're importing nails because the smithy can't keep up with the builder's demand. Rather than waiting for production to catch up, we'll bring in what we need to stay on schedule. It's a small expense, but the time saved keeps progress steady, and once the workload evens out, we can go back to producing everything locally. Even with steady progress, the town still needs more workers and laborers to keep everything running at full capacity. To meet that demand, it's time to build more houses and bring in additional families. We're laying out the plans now, making sure they're close to wells, markets, and firewood supplies so new residents can settle in comfortably. As these homes go up, the town's workforce will expand again, ready to take on the next round of projects and keep growth moving forward. One thing to keep in mind, land tax is based on the size of each housing plot. Because every home layout is a little different, taxes aren't the same for everyone. A larger plot means a higher tax, while smaller or tighter layouts pay less. It's a small detail, but over time it affects how much revenue the town collects and how fairly the system feels for your citizens. At some point, you'll need to either move your forestry camp or start planting new trees. As the town grows, the nearby forest gets thinned out and log production will start to slow down. Here, I'm laying out the plan to plant trees, making sure there's a steady supply of wood for future construction and firewood. I really should have done this earlier. The building crew is now waiting for lumber, and construction has slowed down while the forestry catches up. It's an easy mistake to make, focusing on expansion and forgetting how quickly resources can run low. Replanting early keeps wood production steady and prevents these bottlenecks later on. A small bit of planning saves a lot of waiting. Now that the bridge is complete, we can start developing the industrial area on the far side of the river. This section will hold everything that supports the town's production: smelters, lime kilns, the lime works, and eventually a salt mine. It's also where we'll plan for the future cattle farms, horse stables, and tanneries, keeping all heavy or polluting industries away from the main housing areas. This marks the start of true industrial growth, the foundation of a self-sustaining economy that will carry the town far into the future. We're laying out the plans for the iron and smelting operations that will form the core of our industrial area. The iron ore mine will sit across the river near the lake, a fair distance from the smelters, because the smelters need access to the river to operate efficiently. Here, I'm planning for 3 mine entrances, which will eventually supply 3 smelters once the entire project is in full operation. For now, only 1 mine and 1 smelter will be active as we start production. The plan also includes several smithy buildings nearby, which will later produce metal parts, horseshoes, and tack, completing the chain from raw or to finished goods. Here, we're laying out the plan for the first smelter and also placing the plan for a new bridge that will cross the river near the trees. The bridge will connect the industrial area to a new forestry site, where we'll cut firewood and bark to support the smelters and other industry buildings. Keeping forestry close to the industrial zone helps reduce hauling distance and keeps the main town clear of heavy labor, making the entire system more efficient once it's up and running. Here's an example of the power of laborers in action. Watch how a group of them works together to supply the trading post with shoes. They move quickly and efficiently, hauling goods across town and keeping trade running smoothly without slowing other jobs down. Laborers may not be assigned to one building, but when they work as a team, they become the backbone of the entire economy. The stone mining camp is a key part of this next phase of construction. It provides both stone and limestone, two essential materials for the industrial area. Stone is needed for building the smelters, while limestone will later be used in the lime kiln and lime works. Without these resources, progress would come to a halt. By opening the camp now, we can start stockpiling materials and keep construction on schedule once the industrial projects begin. As 1723 comes to an end, let's take a moment to recap what this year has brought. We've made major progress, expanding housing, laying out the industrial area, and preparing for the next phase of growth. But with so much building underway, we had to import more than we exported, which left the treasury running a bit low. We started the year with 1,349 coins and ended with 1,063, but that will change soon. We've stockpiled charcoal, shoes, and potatoes at the trading post, ready for when the next Urkechi messenger arrives. When that trade happens, much of the lost money will return, marking the start of a stronger, more profitable year ahead. And that brings 1723 to a close. It's been a year of expansion, planning, and preparation, laying the groundwork for everything to come. The economy may have dipped, but the foundation is solid, and the town is ready for a strong comeback in 1724. Thanks for watching. Join me next time as we begin 1724 and move deeper into the industrial age.